AB on the track, yeah.
What is there to fear? I'm from Black America, it's just another year. You knew the disrespect by your elected puppeteers, but let me...
Yo, 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 yo! It's your boy Jacob Costa. Together we are, and Nitty Gritty. Listen, if you wonder who we listening to right now, I got some Buena Vista Social Club. Chan Chan! Name of the song. They're really dope. If you like jazz, but you want to get that nice Caribbean feel, or you know, like that solid Latin, you know what I'm saying, sexiness, that's what it is right there. Come on. Of course we had to play a little bit of this, you know, because we just got back from Mexico. Egypt. Yeah, so, you know, we was feeling the vibes. Cat was like, yeah, play some of that. Give me some of that Cozumel vibe. So that's what we doing in there right now. Yeah. Give folks a few more minutes. Shout out to Michelle Lashes, sponsoring us tonight. As you see, Katrina's rocking some Michelle Lashes tonight. So that's why her eyes look so luxurious. Luxurious. We got a lot of ground to cover today, too. You know, we've been gone for a while. This is our first show back since March. We haven't had any shows in April so far, so this is the first show back. I almost didn't come back to May 1st, but I was like, nah, I want to see the people. Well, we got a lot to talk about, too. So I was like, man, we need to get back. Come on. Oh, I gotta let that horn play for a quick second. We about to get to it. If you're in the comments, shout out your city. Oh, we got Herman in the building. Drop a bomb for him real quick. Hey, we see you. Yeah. Got the music vibes. Let's go. We back. Listen, let me say it one more time. It's your boy, Jay DeCosta.
It's your girl, Katniss.
And together we are the Nitty Gritty. Let me get a round of applause for that real quick. A quick crowd cheer. Yeah, I got all kind of like noise and stuff now going. So we got to applaud it. Yeah, keep cheering for it. Keep cheering. No, I would get reverb if I was playing it for us to hear.
Gotcha.
Yeah. They got it. They heard the cheers. They heard the bomb drop. You know. Yeah, that's all that matters. Look, y'all, we got a lot to talk about, man. We've been gone for a minute. We happy to be back. Lots have happened. If we talking current news real quick, let's just get to it. You know, definitely RIP DMX. We first heard the news of that when we was in Cozumel at the time. I think we was in Cozumel at the time, right? Yeah, we was really sad to hear that. At first, it was like fake reports coming out that he had passed away. Then it was then we were certain. Then we wasn't certain. And I know that had to be hard on the family. I think that's why the days we live in, we can't be so quick to want to post everything. Everybody wants to be the first person to break the story.
Let the family tell about a family's death first.
Yeah.
Period.
I agree. Yeah, because that was just crazy. Everybody trying to jump out, be the first person to the story. Well, that wasn't cool.
One has to wonder if people spoke his death into existence because people kept saying he had died before he even had died.
Yeah, exactly. Like, did that man even have any hope in the bed? So I didn't like that. But they gave him an amazing send-off yesterday.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah, like they had him in a monster. They had this casket in a monster truck. They had like all these bikes and everything down in New York. It was dope.
I didn't see. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was really cool. If you haven't seen it, there's like videos and stuff online. But that was really dope. I think he got, I felt like he got some of his flowers. I think it was nice that he did. He got to do drinks. He was on Drink Champs. That he had a really dope conversation on there with Noriega. Then DJ FN. Then he had obviously the verses with Snoop. So I felt like, and then like let's be honest. And Charlamagne the God said it the best. DMX was like an icon living before he passed away. And I feel like a lot of people celebrated him. It's a shame that he is gone because he positively touched so many, So, definitely I'm happy that he got a really good send-off and everybody gave him his flowers. And I felt like, people were being reintroduced to DMX just before he passed away. Yeah. And I think there's going to be some music coming out from him, too, because he was working on some stuff with Swiss Beats and all that. Also, some news we found out. I think we found this out when we touched down from Egypt, right? Derek Chauvin, guilty on all 3 counts.
Sure did.
And don't get me wrong. I wanted to see the family be vindicated, but I don't call this justice. And the reason why is justice would be George Floyd not dying in the first place. This would be Trayvon Martin never getting killed by somebody who thought he was, security in someone's neighborhood, right? We've seen a glimpse of that in a way with the sergeant down there in near Jackson who harassed a young black man in the neighborhood, talking about he was gonna throw him, he gonna make him move, So I think that was real callous and cowardly. So yeah, I'm happy that justice is being served, but justice would be an overhaul of our justice system. Justice would be not having to see these deaths continually. Justice would be people understanding the difference between a taser and a gun, right? That's justice. So we got a long way to go when it comes to justice, but I would like to see more of these families being vindicated when their family members are murdered, because that's what it was, and when their families are killed and family members are killed unjustly. But justice would be this not happening in the first place. Maybe we see you. What's up? Let me drop a bomb for you real quick. Yeah, I'm wearing these little buttons out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be all over it. I wish our IG crowd could hear all our sounds, but I'm sorry, y'all. If y'all want to get the full experience, tune into Facebook or YouTube, at least until IG is added to Streamlabs. You know, you won't get the full effect. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. Also, current news, DC statehood. Looks like the bill finally passed the House. So DC might become the 51st state. Shout out to DC. Shout out to DC. Put a little bass drop on there. Yeah, shout out to DC and some statehood. And then also, we were just talking about this. Feds are cracking down on those PPP loans, y'all. Mm-hmm. Everybody with these little quick LLCs and these little businesses, y'all be careful applying for them loans. Somebody gonna get locked up. You seen the one lady out there, she started a GoFundMe talking about, help me y'all, the feds are after me. You know?
One thing about the federal government does not play about their money. They have the best of the best of the best tax experts. It's always best to give the government their money up front. Mm-hmm. Don't lie, don't finagle. They will get you. And the thing about the federal government is they move real methodically. They may not get you year one, so you might think, oh, it's all sweet. Yep. They might even get you year 2 or year 3, but best believe by at least year 4, they coming for you. And if you don't have it, and if you don't have their money, you going to jail.
Definitely going to jail.
Like, just do it honestly, pay them, and be over and done with. Don't play no games.
Yeah, don't play with the federal government, y'all. Don't be taking them loans out if you don't need them. And then half of y'all going out here, y'all not even doing anything smart with the money. Y'all out here buying luxury cars, bags, going on trips, and that don't got nothing to do with your business. Unless you're like a travel agent or something. That's the only way I guess you can finagle it. But yeah, y'all start playing around with the government. And then last, and this is going to kind of take us into our conversation, we've seen a lot of controversy around Ma'Khia Bryant and her death, right? And I don't know, a lot of people are like, well, Juan, why are you saying death and not a murder? I will have to say this. I used to be a federal police officer over there at the Civilian Army Police Department at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And I will say that use of force is justified 2 ways. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, Lord, he's one of those. But hear me out first. Use of force is justified when the intent is there, all right? So intent would be me stepping out and saying, oh, I'm going to kill you, man. I'm about to beat you up, right? That's the intent, me telling you, making a threat. But if I'm butt naked and I'm high, I mean, what's the likelihood of me killing you and you're a whole armed police department surrounding me, right? It's not going to happen. Tase me, put me down, take me to jail, and maybe I'll go to the looting bin, all right? No need for deadly force. Now, the other thing you have to see is the means. So let's think about Philando Castile. He had the means to do serious bodily harm because he had a gun in the car. But he had no intent. So that officer to get all worked up and start yelling, shooting into a car with an innocent woman and child was bananas because the man told you he had a gun and you still shot him anyways. Yeah, guns could kill you. But this man, Philando Castile, had no intent of using that gun on you. Now, in the situation with Ma'Khia Bryant, unfortunately, and we're going to unpack this a little bit more, she had the means, she had a knife, and she had the intent because we see her charging in about to stab a young lady. So the officer used deadly force, which was in his purview of things he could have done. Now, some could argue, could you take out a laser? Could you do this? Could you do that? Sure, but then you got to understand, you got to make this decision in a split second. And I think that's when we start getting into the subject of today, is how things are so out of order. So let's just get to it, right? Get down to the nitty gritty of it, and let's start talking bass drop, baby, bass drop. All right, so have you seen the video yet, Katrina?
Ma'Khia Bryant?
Yeah.
I have not seen the video. I just heard and read the details.
But I mean, I think you can imagine though, right? Imagine your brother or your sister, right? Now, and I think a lot of people are not looking at this both sides. We're looking at the death of Ma'Khia Bryant, and I know why, because we're emotional right now, because we're tired of black people getting killed by the hands of police.
And she's a 16-year-old.
She was a 16-year-old girl. She was actually the one being bullied. She was really the victim in this situation, but
foster home.
You don't see all of that when you walk up on the situation, right? You just see, hey, I was called here because there's a disturbance, and I see this young girl about to go in on somebody, right? And if you don't know what's going on, even as a parent, if that was, let's say, your child about to get stabbed or your loved one about to get stabbed, it's easy for you to take the side of the police in that situation because you're emotionally connected to the person that could have been stabbed, right, or killed. But then when you start hearing the whole story of Ma'Khia's tragedy, and that's what I'm calling it, it's a tragedy because there's a lot of things out of order here, and it's not just police violence. Police violence is why we're so upset and why we can't really grasp the situation for everything that it is. And that's the police not calling out bad police. So that's their problem. Jennifer Hopkins, what's up, mama? I see you. But then the other half of it, right, is all these other little details. So, we're looking into the Ma'Khia Bryant situation, and it looks like the father gave Ma'Khia the knife in the first place to stab somebody.
Well, yeah, apparently she was having issues at the foster home. Her foster mother and her didn't get along. There was some kind of argument over
So by Elisa, what's good?
over a room being cleaned, allegedly. These are all alleged things. This is what I read. I'm not sure if this is 100% true. And so the mother felt some way, so she called her other foster kids who were like 28, 26. Wait, 10 years, Ma'Khia's senior, if not more. So Ma'Khia ended up calling her father, her biological father, like, listen, I'm getting ready to get jumped. I need you to get over here. So apparently he came over, and she also I think Ma'Khia called or her cousin or somebody called the cops from her side as well. So when she got there, apparently he gave her a knife like, yo, do what you gotta do. And in the midst of her trying to defend herself because she's feeling as though she's gonna get jumped by these grown adults, she, was trying to charge like she was gonna stab them, and the cops shot them. First and foremost, if you are the parent that is being called and you're the biological parent, why are you giving your child a knife? I have a huge problem with that. If I'm the father or the mother of the child, my child's not gonna fight, period. I'm gonna step in and say, wait a minute, what's going on? We're not fighting. Second of all, I would have an issue with the foster mother basically calling grown adults to beat this young child up. There's a lot. Furthermore, where is Ma'Khia's biological mama? I mean, there's just so many layers to this thing that none of it makes sense, and all of this is over a room not being clean. Somebody help me. Make it make sense.
And basically what we have is this situation is all out of order, right? And Katrina, you touched on a lot. I mean, first of all, everybody's talking about how the police are there to de-escalate. And you know what? I'm not going to argue with you. You guys are right. The police should be trying to help de-escalate the situation versus always trying to find a reason to use deadly force, right? Too often we see that, the excuse to use deadly force because people are scared or whatever. And then in a situation like this where deadly force can be justified, it's one of those things where, well, did you even try to talk the situation down when you rolled up, right? But then before the police even got there, I think people need to remember there were other individuals involved that could have de-escalated. First of all, let's go to the foster mother. What makes you think it's okay to call somebody to go jump someone? We live in a day where people have a problem with folks corporally disciplining their children. And then you want to take it a step further and you're going to say, let me get some of my old, children to come over and jump you.
You were the foster mother. Create some kind of discipline in your home. Okay, she may have gotten disrespectful with you, but you are getting paid to be the parent in the situation. So for me, it's going to be like, okay, Ma'Khia, we're not going to go toe to toe. I'm going to let you cool down, and I'm going to cool down. I'm going to come back. We're going to have a conversation. It's obvious this young lady, based upon her story, has gone through a lot of trauma. And from what I've been told, this wasn't the first foster home she was in. So she might not be the most respectful when she communicates when she's upset.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a barrier there for her when it comes to reaching out and talking to other people. And once again, out of order. And Elisa, yes, you make a good point off our IG audience. She's saying everyone failed that baby. And that's true. Everybody failed her. It wasn't, don't get me wrong, the police need to do better. But in this situation, there was so much that happened before you even got to the police. And we can't jump over that fact and start hollering, oh, the police, the police, the police. Trust me, the police were dead wrong. In the situation with the young man, I can't think of his name right now, the one that got shot instead of tased, obviously that was the police. When we start looking at Oscar Grant and all these situations, the police need to be held accountable. But this is the one time, without a doubt, we know that there was a lot of chaos that happened before this shooting where we could have policed ourselves. And I think, if I could just be very specific here, the black community, we have to start policing ourselves better, right? A lot of men running around here talking about, oh, that's my OG, that's my OG. If your OG is not in a place, and for those that may not know, just in case we got a couple of squares, OG is a term that normally means like original gangster, but in this case, OG is kind of like a slang term for just someone you may good advice for, all right? Just make sure we all on the same page. But these days, everybody's talking about, oh, that's my OG, that's my OG. But if I feel like your OG should have a qualification. If your mentors / OGs aren't in a better situation than you, meaning whatever they're advising you on, they should have better. If they're telling you how to buy a house, they should own a home. If they're telling you how to make decisions at the job, they should have a career, right? And be further along in that career than you are. Like, where are we getting our advice from? And it becomes evidently and grossly clear that we're very out of order in a lot of our interactions and our doings, and we need to like put a cap on the bullcrap. What father in his right mind, you have a chance to protect your daughter from getting beat up, right? And the first thing you do is slide them a knife. And honestly, this is no different where as parents, we encourage our kids to go fight, right? Your kids is being bullied, and a lot of times the kids don't want the parents to be involved, right? Because we don't want to get teased at school and be called a snitch. We don't want nobody saying, oh, you a punk. We don't want nobody saying, oh, you had to run and go tell your mama and tell your daddy, right? Nobody wants to deal with that embarrassment. So instead, we go to the parents. The parents remember what they had to go through. And the first thing the parents are saying, oh, you need to go back to that school. You need to go kick their butt, right? And maybe in another world, that would have worked 20 years ago. Maybe that worked 40 years ago. But these days, we have to move different because society has moved different, right? And if, yo, Karen, what's up? I see you. I'm going to drop a bomb for you, even though you can't hear it because you're on IG. If you want to hear these bombs and all these special effects, join us on YouTube or join us on Facebook. You get the full experience. You can see our lower thirds, all that good stuff. But, continue on with the thought, we have to start reimagining how we care for our children, right? We can't throw them into these fights and throw them into these situations and then expect for it to be cool. We really need to do better, and our children honestly deserve better, and we shouldn't be giving them that. Like, as parents, we should be trying to find ways to de-escalate violence, not to encourage violence, because you never know how it's going to go. You don't know what these other kids, while you might be telling your kid to go have an honest fight so they can defend themselves, you don't know that other parent might be saying, yeah, you get a knife and stab him. That other kid may never go to their parent for advice. They might be going to another sister or a cousin that might be like, yeah, I'm going to give you a gun so you can go shoot him. Yeah. You don't know what the other person is saying. You can't judge or measure. Oh, they said Facebook keeps freezing. All right, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know why it's doing that. Let me do this real quick to make sure I have nothing else running in the background. And if it keeps freezing, try YouTube as well. I'm curious. Now, you know what, Elisa, that's a good question. I don't know who called the cops in that situation.
Somebody from, I think it was either Ma'Khia, her cousin, or somebody from her side, if that makes any sense. Okay. Like, I'm not sure specifically if it was her or a cousin or a sister, but somebody that was for her called the cops. Either way, there was so much out of order behavior, and the reality is the black community got a lot of issues. And we always say that, and we always say, well, stop always amplifying black issues and black trauma. No, it needs to be said. There is literally no standard anymore for how to conduct ourselves. I didn't see the video. From what I keep hearing, there was a whole bunch of adults just standing around. Yeah, and you about to watch all these young folks fight? Come on. Where is the standard? Where is the timeout? What's going on? No, you're not going to fight. I said what I said. No. And somebody grabbed her and grabbed the knife. I mean, all of it sounds like complete and utter chaos and foolishness to me.
And that's sad that so many people, and like, because we live in, and that's another thing too, right? Another thing that's just out of order with the culture these days. So many times we see violence and we see this thing. The first thing people want to do is yell "World Star" and capture it
and celebrate it.
and celebrate like, ooh, my feed is crazy. Oh, they going crazy. They going crazy.
We always celebrate somebody getting dragged, somebody shading somebody, a negative comment. We love the disrespect of one another. It's out of order. Out of order.
Yeah, it's super out of order, and we nearly need to do better. Like, it's really sad that this stuff is happening, and we're seeing like these injustices. And I really wish that I just really want us to get back to some of those old school values that we used to have when our community was strong. You know, there was a time where we didn't celebrate two brothers fighting each other and two sisters fighting each other. There was a time when the community got involved. They'll yoke both of you up. They might pop both of y'all behinds and say, hey, look, we ain't gonna do this. But we live in a society now where, you know, we celebrate the ignorance. And we really need to get away from that if we're gonna get better. And then, you know, with the foster mother doing what she did, it's like, who's gonna investigate her? She shouldn't be allowed to be the foster mother anymore.
They said she got on that news camera, and when they was asking her, you know, are you hurt about your daughter? She was like, a very impartial face, like, well, she was a troubled child or something ignorant, dumb like that. Just a mess. No
kind of emotion and thought, and it's kind of like we have more emotion for this young lady than the people closest around her.
It's a shame.
And it really is sad, and I am beyond words on this, and I think this kind of goes to something we've talked about many times on the Nitty Gritty Show. So quick are we to Lana? What's good? Let me drop a bomb for you, sweetheart. I see you. KC in the building.
Hey, Lana.
We are so quick to just bring the junk in, and we have to get away from that. Like something we talked about on the show many times before is, you know, just taking drama to social media in the first place. That's something that's super out of order. I see so many people on Facebook and they're upset at their husband or their wife or their brother, their sister. I shouldn't know your beefs inside your home.
You shouldn't know your business.
Like, why don't y'all take yourself to some therapist's couch? Before you tweet, before you go to Instagram Live, before you go to TikTok making a funny video about it, or you start sharing and posting stuff on Facebook, where's the thought process to say, you know what? This is a home matter. Let's go see a therapist so we can work through that. Why is everybody so quick to air out their dirty laundry? And then everybody has to have an opinion about it. You know, this happened with Kirk Franklin not too long ago, just before we left. His son wanted to go to social media to express all the things going on.
To air out Kirk or call out Kirk.
Why didn't you just go to the family therapist? It doesn't make any sense to me. So
part of the problem of the reason why people are out of order is because we don't got no family.
No.
Who's correcting people? I mean, I remember when I was growing up, you couldn't talk to adults in any old kind of way.
No.
My mom and dad would be like, I'm sorry, excuse you. You tell sister so-and-so thank you. Excuse you, who were you talking to? But you got not even grown, but young adults talking to grown people like any old kind of way. There's just so much confusion in the community. There is a lack of disrespect for the older generation and their wisdom. There is a lack of respect for self-worth and self-value. There is no respect for family. Everybody's on this whole prosperity. I gotta be happy. So if it means my happiness is gonna break up the home and therefore there's gonna be no correction, mama not even there to correct babies because she working 3 jobs. So who's teaching these kids morals and values?
Yeah. And Lisa, I didn't even know that about Brian McKnight's son. So she said that Brian McKnight's son did the same thing.
What?
I guess he went to social media to talk trash about Brian McKnight.
These spoiled kids.
And you know, there's some good comments out here. Herman said from our Facebook audience, bring back old school values, amen. I agree with that. Herman also said we don't need to know your business. Facts. Everybody don't need to know your business. You know what I'm saying? Talk to a trusted advisor. Maybe a pastor, but I don't know. Some of these pastors, I don't know about them giving advice either sometimes. I feel like go talk to a therapist. Now, if you have a good pastor, if you go to a good church, shout out Kingdom Fellowship, shout out Faith Outreach, shout out some of these churches where, you know, you may get some sound leadership. But also, I know in all those churches I just named, they have licensed therapists that go to those churches that would tell you to go get therapy. So I'm just saying, like, you know, start bringing the round circle of folks around you.
But be open to therapy, though.
Yeah, be open to therapy.
There's no point of going to therapy if you're going to just sit here and refute and argue with everything the therapist is saying, and or take what they're saying as, oh, I'm right, I'm the victim, everybody is wrong. Therapy is supposed to be a place for you to work out some things in your head and come back better on the other side. Because there's people who say they go to therapy, it's like, what work did you do?
Or like, who was your therapist? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where did you get that consultation from? Because that's crazy. And actually, you know what? I just want to get right into it, right? I want to focus on families. Because families are out of order these days, right? And I think there was a time when family had hierarchy. And you know what? I might make some people mad with this comment, but it's true. Yeah, I'm going to go there. I'm going to sound like Kevin Samuels to some of y'all, you know, whatever. But the thing is, and hold up, Herman just said, there's a lot of total lack of parenting, no discipline, values, the whole nine. Made me say amen. Elisa said, we are quick to say it takes a village, but as soon as we try to step in, mind your business is the response.
Oh, yes, it is.
Amen to that.
Oh, yes, it is.
So let's go there with that, right? We don't have a village mindset anymore.
No.
It used to be a time, and we alluded to this earlier. I remember back when the neighbors could pop you. Mm-hmm. And then after they pop you, they take you back to your parents and tell you, yeah, I just popped your son. He was out here showing his behind. Mm-hmm. And then your mama and your daddy beat your butt next.
Yeah, got me out here looking crazy
mm-hmm.
in front of the neighbors. You know better than to act that way.
But nowadays, and then it used to be a time where even with the teachers, there was some camaraderie there. The teachers would call the parents with honest concern. Some of these teachers don't even be having honest concern. They just be trying to over-regulate your children. But there used to be a time the teacher called the parents, and the parents didn't just cuss out the teacher right away. They would ask questions and inquire. Oh, little Johnny was doing what? Oh, okay, well, let's have a parents-teacher conference. I'll come in there to the school. My parents, shout out to Mamie, she'll come up, well, I'm gonna call her what she went by back then. That was Denise. Denise would pop up at that school in a heartbeat. She'll come to that school, and what it did is it created boundaries, and it created responsibility on my part as a child. I wasn't about to cut up just any kind of way because at any day, Denise could pop to their door. She would do it. She'll come on a random Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you name it, just pop up in that joint. But then on top of that, it made the teachers hold accountable, right? Because when the teachers realized, Juan's mom, Richard and Nathaniel's mom don't play, then they realize, okay, now I got to be accountable to this parent. She's depending on me to be a beacon of order to extend what she's already teaching her child at home, right? So when you have a parent showing up to the school, they respect that. They're like, okay. And then even if they was trying to throw your child under the bus or do them wrong, they know they can't do that because they have a parent that is honestly invested in their child's success.
Right.
We need to bring that back. Too often, we're so overworked, we're so tired that we don't think we have the time to be involved with the children. And our children is one of our greatest resources as far as how we leave back our legacy into society and how we're going to affect the world going forward.
But why are we so tired? Why are we so tired that we don't have time for our kids?
Well, you know what? Part of it is because things are still out of order. People are more concerned with financial feats than the legacy they leave to their children, right? People are more concerned about the house, about the activities they can pay for, the new shoes the kids are wearing, the clothes on their back. We're so materialistic that we think just because we're providing XYZ monetary expense that we've done our job.
Well, my thing is, if you had helpmates or a partner to help you raise the babies, or if you had mama or grandmama or auntie in them, it might be helpful. Also, just because you want a kid don't mean that you should be having a kid. If you living in poverty and you struggling, why are you having a kid? You can barely afford yourself, yet you go out here and you have 2-3 kids and you talk about nobody cares about you. At the end of the day, women decide if they're going to have a kid or not. If you're not financially fit, you shouldn't be having children.
Drop a bomb on that.
And it's too many women out here having kids, no marriage, no support system, expecting the federal government to help take care of them, complaining about, woe is me, I'm tired. You make these decisions. And it's all around. I'm not trying to be rude, and I get it, it's a very emotional decision. But if you see sister after sister struggling, why would you want that lifestyle for yourself?
Amen.
It just don't make no daggone sense. And how I grew up, my mom and dad are still married, but I had grandparents on both sides. So if mom and dad couldn't do it, mom take me to Grandma Smith's house or Grandma B's house. We had cousins, we had aunties. If you don't have no family structure already implemented, you need to ask yourself, am I even in a position where I can have the necessary support to raise a child? And if the answer is no, you should not be having no kid. It's too many people having kids with no man, no money, no future, no plan. You ask them why they didn't have a kid. Well, why did you have the kid? Make it make sense.
Talk to them. No, I mean,
and then they do it repeatedly. It's not like it's just, well, I had the one child, I made a mistake and I learned. It's multiple kids by multiple so-called bad baby daddies, no good baby daddies. My mama is toxic. Time out. So all of the baby daddies are toxic. Your mama got issues. Where is your accountability, sis? You brought your kids into poverty and you having your kids struggle. The same trauma that you have, you've immediately passed down to them the moment that you decided to have a kid. It doesn't make sense.
My God.
Out of order. We got too many kids running around talking about my mama did this, my mama did that. Where is the daddy? Where is the disciplinarian who tells your kids when they need to be corrected? Where is the daddy?
Well, the thing is, they made the government the daddy, and then that's when the government comes in with a police officer. What happens is, look at Ma'Khia Boy, right? Her parents failed her. I'm just gonna call it what it is. Y'all get mad at me if y'all want to. I mean, she's in the foster system, and her parents are there. The parents failed her because if the parents were being parents, the police officers would have to come in to correct your child. And guess what? They're not gonna love your child the way you do, so they're gonna shoot him. But you had every opportunity to break up a fight, to de-escalate it at their home. Matter of fact, shout out to Dr. Paul Wells. Actually, I'm going to be on this podcast soon. He's actually going to be on our show here soon as well. But shout out to Dr. Paul Wells. He had told me something very recently. We go to the same barber, and we was talking. And Paul told me a very interesting fact. He said men who are higher risk for re-entry into the prison system are typically those who had little to no accountability between the ages of 10 and 17. And to give you some background on Paul Wells, he deals primarily with therapy for those in re-entry, those coming out of jail, trying to go back into society, trying to help them and prevent them from going back into the prison system. So this is the focus of his therapy.
So basically, these young men had nobody telling them,
Yep.
No.
And listen, we see it so many times. These young men between 10 and 17 probably didn't have chores. Nobody gave them boundaries. No one said, you're going to bring your black behind up in this house. I remember, listen, shout out to Herman. He didn't care if it was church. You're going to be in my house by 10 o'clock. Show up late if you want to. That door going to be locked. And you're going to have something to deal with. You get what I'm saying? It was lights. I remember 15, 16 years old, lights off at 9:30. That's why on the weekends I wanted to go spend the night at a friend's house over the time. Because then I knew I could be up till the 2 o'clock in the morning playing video games with my friends. But I had boundaries. I had restrictions.
You had rules.
And thank God I'm blessed today. I ain't saying I'm balling and I get it all, but God has been good to me. But I had some type of measure of a path. I can say the same thing about my boo. Shout out to Mike and Jen out there. I know they say y'all was strict, but there were boundaries. Y'all didn't have no kids out of wedlock. None three of y'all. All y'all got good jobs. God bless. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't out here with no prison record. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got to brag on my baby and her parents. I'm just saying, this is what happens when you have boundaries. Your kids end up benefiting from it at the end of the day. And we need to bring this back. Elisa just said something that was funny to me, though. She said the poorest households have pets. I'll never understand that. And that is kind of crazy, right? It's once again, we're so materialistic. So many people want all these things, but the main thing your family need, these days, houses come with a bed, with a bathroom. Elisa can speak to this. She's a real estate agent. These days, houses come where every room has its own bedroom. Its own bathroom, right? I remember in the era we grew up in the 90s, the 80s. That's back when two sons shared a room. You have two daughters, they share a room, whether they 4 or 5 years apart. They share a room. That's back when sometimes you was lucky if you had two bathrooms in the family, and if that second bathroom existed, it went into the master bedroom for your parents to use. You ain't never using that toilet. Everybody shared a shower. Everybody shared one bathroom. But you know what we also did? We shared dinners at the kitchen table, and everything was shut off. We shared together in prayer. So these days, everybody got their own thing. Everybody eating their own room. Nobody cleaning the darn room. Everybody got their own bathroom, but nobody's cleaning the darn bathroom. Everybody got their own phone, their own tablet, their own TV, multiple Xboxes. I wish we would have had multiple gaming systems in our household. Yeah. If I got a Super Nintendo, it means Richard and Nathaniel got a Super Nintendo too, because we was going to share it.
No, we had, my father and my mother, we didn't have that. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have Sega Genesis or any of that. We finally got, I think, a PlayStation 2. I want to say we had to all three share it, and then my dad would even regulate it, like, nah, y'all can't play that. This is my DVD player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or it'd be like, go read a book. Oh, my mom was famous for that one. Go read a book.
But I'm just trying to understand why the standard to have these kids and then we say, well, I'm working, so I don't have anybody to really discipline them. And then we wonder why they're terrorizing other kids at school. There's no discipline. What is the standard? There's no shame. You just have a kid after kid after kid after kid and bringing them into the world, and it's just a whole bunch of chaos and foolishness. These babies deserve better. They deserve adults who are making more informed decisions. And it's too many women and men that I know of and I can speak to, they just out here having sex. I'm just out here just having a good time, recreational sex. I'm not understanding. What is the disconnect? What's going on? What's going on?
That had to drop some bombs on that. She dropped some knowledge. And then Lisa, you made a good point too. She said the prison blueprint is based off the third grade population. They already know what is going to happen. They've already figured out at the time in the third grade what they set up for you. If you think about what age you are by the third grade, that's about 9 years old.
Yeah.
Right? And so for parents out there, all the parents, anybody who even aspires to be a parent, this is the tendency. Like, you have to start, everybody wants their child to be grown at 18. But what have you done in the course of leading up to 18 to prepare them for adult life? Right? What boundaries, what restrictions, what chores, what life skills did you employ into your children so that it will be fruitful by the time they're 18? Because this world, when they see our babies, shoot, they look at half of them at 15 and 16 and think they're grown already. So then they want to treat them like adults.
They do.
So when is, and this is probably a separate show, and I'm gonna probably bring in one of our therapists, probably like Paul or Ashton or somebody to talk about this. But when do we start training our children for adulthood? Everybody wants to have these cute little kids, but guess what? If your life expectancy is 60, 70, 80 plus years old, then that means literally only about 1/4, 1/5, 1/6 of your life is going to be that in adolescence.
Yeah.
So why do we focus so much on what happens between 1 and 17, but not preparing them for the longest part of their life, all those things that happen after 18 plus? We have to change the mythology and the mindset behind our children. Deidre, I see you. What's up? Clarksville, Tennessee in the building.
But even on a more important note, and I say this all the time, and people come for me, I get a lot criticized. And I'm not even a quote-unquote daddy's girl. But the lack of respect we have for fatherhood is so paramount and so evident. Look at how big Mother's Day is compared to Father's Day. Mm-hmm. Father's like, oh, you just a dad. Mama do everything. That's the problem. That's the problem. It's too many women who want to wear the pants and be mommy and daddy and regulate these. No. You need to have a plan for your kids to have a positive male role model. And then we wonder why when the dating scene, ain't no men out here who know how to be men. Well, what men did they have raising them? Mama was making
Help me.
I don't know what.
Help me.
Yep.
No wonder they don't know what's going on. Don't know how to cook, clean, wash. Don't know how to change a tire. Just a mama's boy out here pretty, used to women doing things because they don't even know how to make decisions on their own. Women, black women, I'm serious. I'm speaking to you directly. Y'all have got to humble yourself. Y'all are out of order. It's too many kids being born with no plan of action. You out here just having kids with no plan.
Lisa. She said fathers are irreplaceable. But you're right, baby. You're right.
No, I mean it's just pure foolishness at this point. You gotta stand. Marriage wasn't for me. So having multiple kids by multiple men is the standard over marriage? How does that make sense?
It doesn't. And you can't make it make sense. But people are going to try. They definitely going to try because they don't want the truth, unfortunately. And we just have to do better. I mean, and then you know, we just need to bring structure back. And I know a lot of ladies are not on one of the this either. And we're not trying to attack ladies. You get what I'm saying? But what we want to do is fix what's going on in our community. And you got to call out the things that the data actually back up, right? And you're right, maybe no action plan. But the data shows that majority of the time, 67% of the time, the women are the ones leaving the marriages.
And what is it? Is it 70 or 80% now of how many households are by single women? What is it?
I think it was like somewhere in the 80s. I forgot the exact number.
I mean, it's absurd.
And then, you know, it's sad, you know, 1 in 4. I'm quoting Kevin Samuels. Shout out to Kevin. Let me drop a bomb for that brother. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. But it's true. You know, only 1 in 4 black women are going to get married. And when you start looking at, like, what's leading up to this, you know, like, we have to start understanding what the value is of marriage if you're going to be married. And we know there's some extenuating situations where if somebody is cheated on unrepentantly and, you know, somebody brings home an STD, have a baby out of wedlock, if your life is for real in danger, that man is putting his hands on you, beating you down. You get what I'm saying? We understand that. But we know majority of these situations are not that. So everybody wants to use the extreme situation and be like, well, this. But honestly, y'all, that's not majority of the reasons why these things are happening. Most of the divorces end, 85% of them to be exact, they end over irreconcilable differences. That means you could not prove there was some kind of cheating and all this stuff that we see in these Tyler Perry movies. You can't prove that it was going on. It's just that you weren't happy. And I get it, people ain't happy, but we have to start making strategic choices to keep our families together, y'all. And we have to start having accountability for our children. We need to start, as men need to start coming together and holding men accountable. Let me talk to the brothers for a second. Everybody gets that man, sometimes in the group, you know, they got the wandering eye. And then a lot of men won't say nothing. They'll tell their wives at home, you know, so-and-so, man, he be doing some wild stuff. He a wild boy. But then it's like, what good is that telling your wife? Tell him. Be like, hey, bro. Hey, man, you need to keep your eyes forward because you ain't going to want to pay that child support that she leave you behind.
You out of order.
You out of order. We got to start making this normal to start holding each other accountable. When friends are out of order, we need to start having real conversations. And guess what? If those friends can't take correction, if they can't take honest feedback that's going to help them out, they ain't a real friend anyways. A real friend should be able to coach one another. They should be able to strengthen someone. And the only way really to strengthen somebody, you have to put stress on their muscles, right? When you lift weights and you start training, the only way your muscles get bigger, they have to break, the muscle fibers have to break down. You have to injure them, right? And then as they repair, they become stronger. Why is it that science has given us all the knowledge we need as to how we grow, but the second you're challenged effectively on how to grow, we don't want to grow? Friends tell you, hey man, you know, you got a big mouth, you talk too much, you need to like pull back. Hey, you spending your money the wrong way, that's why you broke. But then we want to get offended by the opportunity to grow. Yes, it hurt a little bit when they told you you had a big mouth. It hurt a little bit when they told you to stop smacking. It hurt a little bit when they told you, hey man, you know, you ain't really living too healthy and you claim you want to be, you know, XYZ old. You got to start taking that feedback and realize that this individual is saying this to benefit you. Especially if they're doing something like calling you up personally on the phone. Now, they're one of those people that run straight to social media. That might be something different going on, right? But if they're telling you straight up, hey man, you need to switch up how you doing. Those folks you're hanging out with, they don't mean you no good. Hey, you know, you staying up all hours of the night. Every time I see you, you got a drink in your hand. Now, I ain't talking about it on vacation. But, you know, we working regular hours and every day you turning up. But you claim you want to be a CEO or an entrepreneur. Brothers love running around here saying they are entrepreneurs. But what LLCs you got? What multiple streams of income do you really have coming in? Okay, you an entrepreneur, cool. You can't be on the video game all day long and you don't got no job. Brother, you need to get up off this game and go engage into the workplace. The two don't mix. They just don't. We got some good comments too. Herman saying accountability. Maybe he had a good point. He said, good word. Tell it like it is.
Elisa had said earlier, if you've never been married, how do you know it's not for you?
Well, here's the thing about marriage, right? You know what? Elisa made a good point with that. If you've never been married, how do you know it's for you? Well, you know what? Here's the good thing about that. If you don't want to die alone, that's how you know marriage is for you. That's the plain simple of it all. Now, I know I only just recently got married, but I do have the benefit of two couples who are close to us at the Nitty Gritty. We got Mike and Jen, they've been married 40 plus years. And then we got Herman and Mamie, they've been married 30 plus years. Right? And if you go talk to society anywhere, here's the thing about marriage. If you're going to date a man, right? And you're going to hold it to a standard of, you want to know financially how secure he is and all that. You're asking all those questions because you want to build a life with him, right? And men, if you're dealing with a woman over so much time, you guys are creating a partnership. You guys are creating a love affair. So that way, when you guys are 80 years old, you can't wipe your own behind one day, or you can't remember what prescriptions you're supposed to take. You got somebody next to you. If you want to know if marriage is for you, it's pretty simple. Do you want to live life alone? And I'm not talking about while you in your flirty 30s or 40s and all that good stuff, while you out here having your hot girl summers. No, I'm talking about when you're behind is 68 plus years old. When that Social Security start kicking in, right? When you having a hard time getting up them steps, do you see the benefit of a man next to you? Do you see the benefit of a woman next to you going through that time? All right, let me drop a bomb on that real quick. Okay? That's the purpose of marriage. Y'all don't want to die alone. That's why you want marriage. Now, if you're one of those independent brothers, sisters, you don't want nobody, if you're content with the idea of maybe being in a nursing home when stuff hits the fan, or as I normally say, as the proverbial fecal matter elevates to the oscillating rotary device.
What?
Proverbial fecal matter, some boo-boo or shit.
Yeah.
Right? And then as it oscillates or as it rises to the oscillating rotary device.
All right.
Right? Yeah, the fan, in other words. When it hits the fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That's all I'm saying. So, that's how you know if marriage is for you. To me, in my personal opinion, I ain't no expert.
Who else joined?
That was DJ. I threw a bomb at him. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it really comes down to.
I mean, I just think at the end of the day, I think we have this mindset of, I would say over the past 10 years, it's kind of like, what they do over there, that's what they do over there. My cousins and them, they do their thing. What's for me in my house, I'm worried about us. I don't care what other people do. And we can continue to take that approach, but the problem is that because we are not holding each other accountable, there's a whole bunch of chaos. And then when we have kids, we're sending our kids into the world, and they're coming in contact with your kids, and your kids ain't got no structure.
Yep.
They're unruly, they ruthless, they bullying, they're terrorists, and then we gotta figure out what's going on. So this is not a lecture to make you feel bad, but it is a conversation for you to assess, am I making wise decisions?
And to challenge us to be better. We can't say, oh, the white man this and the white man that.
They love saying that.
Man, you know what? That's such a big cop-out for some of y'all. If you ain't voting and if you ain't trying to have no structure in your own family, you don't got the right to blame the white man. It's like Christian folks, I want to blame the devil for everything. The devil. No, you chose. You chose to do that. You didn't need no devil enticing you. You did that. You saw that sister walking in there, and you knew that she had a body shape that was going to tempt you. But you know what you did? You ran to her as soon as church was over to say something to her. You did that. The devil didn't hearken unto you. Bomb drop real quick. Okay? Stop blaming everybody for your problems. Some stuff starts at home. Yes, I wish that police officer would have deaded that situation and could have de-escalated it. But I had a father give a daughter a knife, a foster mother call some people over to jump her, and then a mother that we don't know where she at. And then a bunch of other adults watching with their phones out.
Just foolishness. Pure foolishness.
Don't blame the white man, blame all them black faces that was watching that crap go down. Bomb drop. So, I digress, folks.
Yep.
We need to get our houses and our community back in order. We have so much coming at us. We're in the middle of a pandemic still. We have obviously racial prejudice and everything going on, and police brutality. It is real. I know some of y'all think that I was speaking on the side of police. I'm just trying to speak on the side of truth and getting down to the nitty gritty of it all, right? We just got to get our houses back in order, folks. And that's what was really on our heart. We was like, you know what? Let's just talk about getting stuff back in order. Yep. Made me say that my kids will not be playing with them. As one. Facts. If she didn't trust nobody, she'd be like, you can't play with that knucklehead. I don't trust that boy. She'd say that in a heartbeat. I remember those days. So look, it's time to throw out some congratulations and stuff like that. Let me throw out some crowd cheers real quick. Crowd cheers. Yeah. Shout out. Yeah, I just wait for the actual end of the little thing right there. But anyways, so first shout out, I'm gonna start with us. You know what I'm saying? Congrats to the DeCostas. And for those, if you didn't know, because this might be your first time watching the Nitty Gritty show, me and Kat, we married. I got my, hold up, I gotta make sure I do it right so the camera see it. Yeah, I got my rings on, yeah. I got my ring on, I put a ring on it, she got a ring on it. Ah! Alright, yeah, we married, y'all, we married.
This is my husband, y'all.
Yeah, this is my wifey. You can be my wifey. Oh, I'm gonna say that one too. Yeah, do it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so Alicia said the crowd cheers too loud. My bad, y'all. I'm out there adjust all these sounds. You know, I gotta adjust all these sounds. We still getting used to it. Yeah, so we got married. The date that we share with everybody is April 10th. April 10th we got married. We was in Cozumel. 2021 we was in Cozumel, Mexico. Shout out to everybody who was able to make it. If you couldn't, no big deal because that was like, you know, you were going to have to travel abroad. This is the middle of a pandemic. Shout out to the Garretts who came who actually had to deal with that. Right? But they're back home safe with their family.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Malia. I see you, baby girl.
Thank you.
So we're married. I's married now. I see you, Aletha. We had a good time. We got married in Cozumel. We spent a few days out there. Mm-hmm. Came home, woosawed for a quick second, and we went out to Egypt.
In honor of Egypt.
Yeah, show them.
First I bought this cotton shirt.
Yeah.
Egyptian. This is an Egyptian made shirt that I got. It's quality. They have quality cotton. And I got a catus made with my initials, KMD.
That's right, D. Not the H anymore.
This will be one of the first official heirlooms. For a lot of people, I don't know if you guys do it, but in my family, my grandmother is really big on heirlooms. So this is something that I plan to give my child or granddaughter when they become of age because it's important with the initials.
Yeah. So
I might even get the day we got married engraved on the back.
So I mean, we had a good time. We got to see the pyramids. We posted a few pictures. It was a good time.
It was a great time.
Yeah, it was really cool. If you haven't been to Egypt, go check it out. It's a little dusty.
Thank you,
at times. Yeah, thank you, everyone. It's a little dusty at parts, but you know what? It's a really good time. Y'all should definitely go check it out. We had a blast. We got some more photos. We might post like an hour or something like that. We actually have a video coming. Maybe we'll post a video to the YouTube page or something like that for everybody to check that out. Also in the shout outs, shout out to Method Man and Redman. It was on Versus. That was on 420. I know some of y'all smoke a little bit of that weed out there, so that's what they was doing on that show. And then we got some birthday shout outs. Let's do some birthdays. Shout out to Christy Gale. I think she was celebrating her 40th birthday. Shout out to my cousin Donna Spate. She was celebrating her 50th birthday. Shout out Donna. Shout out to Fred Jackson. Fred out to Rohi Joe. Matter of fact, I'm over here doing the shout outs, but you know what? I got music I could be playing right now too. We got this one song, Out of Time, and we're literally about almost out of time. This is Bryson Tiller featuring Drake. But anyways, so also more birthdays. Shout out to Dwayne Gully. Shout out to Cara Austin. She just turned 30, right? Yeah, celebrating her 30th. Shout out to Bonnie Page. Shout out to my frat, Daryl Leathers. His birthday is coming up. Shout out to Ashton Morgan. Shout out to Magic DeCosta. And finally, shout out to Justin Bale. We also got anniversaries added to the list, y'all. I got 4 of them. Shout out to James and Elizabeth Davis.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nathaniel and Jasmine Altar, my brother, and my sister-in-law. Shout out to Jorge and Stephanie Castro. We was actually there to see their nuptials. About 2-3 years ago? Something like that?
And thanks to your daddy and your mom that said, love it, you love the shirt. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
And also shout out to Byron and Portia Bolter. 22 years of marriage. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Look, y'all know where to find us. Y'all can go to the YouTube page. Y'all can go see us on Facebook at the Nitty Gritty Show. You can check us out on Instagram. Don't forget, we got merch. Buy a shirt, buy a hat. You go to www.squadlocker.com. You put in the search, The Nitty Gritty Show. You got to put the whole thing in like a Tribe Called Quest. The Nitty Gritty Show. Alright, go check that out. Once again, we're playing Out of Time by Bryson Tiller off his anniversary album. And you know what? I think that's the show, boo.
That's it.
I think we out of here. I think we good. You know? Let me go ahead and turn this up a little bit. Look, we really appreciate all you guys being here. We're going to be doing the new series coming soon. Music Mondays. Little quick 15 to 30 minutes on Monday night starting at 9, where we just talk a little bit about music. It might be one of us or two of us. You'll never know. So check that out. Also, don't forget, the Soapbox is coming back this week on Wednesday. I believe this one will be coming from Simona White, who's a regular here on the show. And we got some dope guests coming up, got some food guests coming up. So y'all stay tuned, man. The Nitty Gritty Show, we back. We back. We won't be having a show Memorial Day weekend, though. So no show Memorial Day weekend, but we here for a few weeks, so let's rock out. Look, it's your boy J.B. Costa, and together we are the Nitty Gritty and the DeCostas. Look, we out of here, the Nitty Gritty and the DeCostas.